everybody. Welcome to the Heed Army podcast. And kids, on Christmas Eve, the season is about to start, and it's all about. I'll say, it's going to get underway. Football's back. Football's back. It doesn't feel 2 minutes ago since preseason started, but we've got a hell of a show for you tonight. We've got assistant manager Ian Watson joining us on the show tonight, and also we've got Dag and Red fan Joel, who's agreed to come on. So fantastic. We'll get to have his perspective before the game as well. And we'll be planning to do that right throughout the season. We've already reached out to a couple of fans. And so the next couple of weeks, we should be rolling, cooking on gas. And also as well, Mark Rivers is going to join us at some point as well, which is always great. And Davey Steele sends his apologies. We give the big announcement he was joining the show to join myself and Mickey, but his internet connection is absolutely dire up there on the Isle of May. But he's had word that he's going to be getting it improved. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll be with us soon and full of beans and giving us all the information on the puffins on the island very, very soon. Mickey, fantastic to see you. I know you're going down on Saturday. You must be extra buzzing compared to me.
I am. I'm really looking forward to it. I've got loads to do tomorrow, like, because obviously I've got making bait, so I'm making quiche and savoury rice and stuff tomorrow. So I'm going to be busy all day tomorrow.
Well, if people don't realise, Mickey used to be a chef and a good one at that. Although still is. I'm saying not used to be, but still is. If you want to message the show, if you're on we've been advertising the show. Obviously, we've got one here from Boyle Sports TV, the Heed Army. Thank you for your message. Kevin Webster, I hope you're all well. Ken Webster, sorry, not Kevin Webster, that's Coronation Street. He's put come on the Heed as well. If I'm looking down, it's because my mouse is broken. I'm having to do it remotely with my phone. So I'm not being rude, everybody. Actually, I can look at it on the screen, but I'll do it here. Evening, lads. How are you doing tonight? We're doing all right, Gordon. And before you ask, no, the phone lines aren't open. We still haven't found that phone, but we will get them going. We've got good evening, lads, from Craig. You okay? We are. Come on the Heed on Saturday. Indeed. And David Tron has put evening all, come on the Heed. And that is how you contact us here on the Heed Army podcast, and we'd love you to do that. And we have advertised on the National League Facebook group, so if there is any Dagenham fans, please do send us a message. It's not an inclusive thing here. We want to hear from yous as well, and we will be hearing from Joel, the fan, the Dag and Red fan. But before we go any further, Mickey, there was some news the other day, and he has scored since in a friendly, I think it was a week ago tomorrow, that it was Will Harris was announced as a new striker that has come into the club. He was released by Sunderland in the summer, made a scoring debut in the under-21s win, under-21, the win away to Middlesbrough under-23s last Saturday, along with Aaron Martin and Paul Blackett. Fantastic goals if you haven't seen it on Gates FC TV. But Mickey, they've added to the strike force because it looks like Leon Knight is going to be out for a little while.
Leon Knight.
Is it Lewis? Lewis Knight. Leon Knight used to play for Chelsea, didn't he? Yeah. There we go. Well, if he's as good as him, will be fantastic.
It's sad for Lewis.
Yeah, he can, come back fighting fit and show us what he's all about. I mean, it's obviously you never want to go to a football club and get an injury straight away. It's just unfortunate. Hopefully he will be back and we'll see, get into the team. We'll see what he's all about.
Messages will come in.
Yeah, I know messages are still coming in. High seas on Saturday from Callum Chambers. If you're making the trip down, fantastic.
Yeah.
Good evening, lads. Looking good tonight. Well, I am. I don't know about Mickey. Hello there. You tune in for the Gateshead chat, but you stay for my looks. So Gateshead ladies have been drawn away to Gateshead Rutherford in the first qualifying round of the Gateshead FA Cup, the qualifying round of the Women's FA Cup, which is great. So hopefully we'll be able to get Simon on, from the manager of GFC Ladies, on to fill us in on that and let us know more about what is happening with the ladies team, because it's went a little bit quiet. Hopefully we'll see the resurgence.
Build on what the Lionesses have done. I mean, I know what Gates is not going to win the popularity.
They've got to build on it, as everyone has. Not my problem. It's my thought is that people have to get along to games, at ladies' games. This is the thing. for years we see in the Olympics and Winter Olympics, people, there'll be 10 million watching the curling final, but do they watch curling again? And I don't want that to be the case for the ladies' game. They need to build on this right throughout, and it's the FA and the clubs who have female clubs attached to them have to push it to the hilt, and hopefully they do that. Right, just before we go any further, we want to play an advert from our sponsors, Northern Print Solutions. They do sponsor us every year, and we're absolutely really grateful for it, because without them we wouldn't be able to do this and bring you commentaries as well on a match day. So we'll play this quick advert, and when we come back we'll read out some of your messages, so get them sent in. Doesn't matter if you're a Gated fan or a Dagenham fan or even a Barnet or Notts County fan, maybe you're doing a little bit of homework up front, send in them messages. Well, Mickey, this time last week we were obviously talking a little bit about the friendly against Middlesbrough under 23s last. Let's see, it was going to be next Saturday, but it's last Saturday, of course, when we broadcasted. Looks like a convincing win. More minutes in the legs, and the strikers fighting the back of the net. You couldn't ask for much more, could you?
You couldn't. 3 very good goals by what I've seen.
Yeah. Apologies, I haven't got them lined up. I've just remembered I should have lined them up. We have got the interview with Mike Williams from Gates FC TV, though, to play out later on. But yeah, no, I mean, obviously as well, did you see how impressive the footage was as well for Paul Blackett's goal?
Drone footage.
Yeah, I think it was drone, or it was might be the new VE technology, VEU technology, I think it might be. But if it was a drone, fantastic stuff.
It was a very good goal. I mean, just shows you what a pep talk on the Heat Army podcast can do. Look at that goal Aaron Martin scored.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely putting that down as an assist to Mickey. It's what it should have.
I think that's an assist from us.
Just a little before we go any further, we do have 1 second. I'm going to add this to the stream. Some news that Ben Clark is doing the Great North Run, and there is a Just Giving page, as you can see here, just next to us on the screen, and he's doing it in aid of the Gator FC Foundation. And say the Gates FC Foundation is doing some fantastic things, did amazing things throughout lockdown, and Ben pivotal in all of that. We can go through some of the things that he's done. He opened a phone line for people that need to talk in such dark times. And if you could really get behind Ben and support him, because the foundation does fantastic things, and he's doing this for the foundation, which is just very admirable. So we're going to put that up again later on and talk about that.
I was at Trunkville Park on Saturday, Davey, coming in on that, and there was a foundation day. There was a few different things on. Gates FC Foundation were there. Clarkie was busy all day with the amount of young kids wanting to play football.
Yeah,
it was a really good day.
I've seen photos on social media. It looked a fantastic turnout. Right, without any further ado, we've got our first guest here now. We've got Ian Watson, Gator Assistant Manager. Oh, pardon me. Hello there, Ian. How are you doing?
Hi, lads. You okay?
Oh, fantastic.
All the better for seeing you, busted.
I mean, I lied to people before. I said people tune in for watching me, but really they heard you were on. That's what it
is. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll give you one stat before we get started. Busted shares a fantastic birthday with me, December the 30th.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to have a double celebration on the podcast.
I'm 10 years older than Busted, like, to be fair, and I look 15.
Obviously we had a fantastic summer. I'm sure you enjoyed yourself after the when we won the title. Going into the summer, obviously players left, players have come in. It was always inevitable that people were going to look at our players because of how we performed last year. It was something special.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, we've managed to keep a lot of players that maybe some people might have thought might have attracted the attention of other clubs. So that must have made you happy to have that as the building blocks going forward to this season.
Yeah, we always see that the strength is in our group, in the fact that we were able to keep the majority of boys. speaks volumes of the club, to be fair. Although we lost the two boys, it wasn't like they were desperate to leave. They had offers that, you know, financially really helped them. Obviously they looked at it as a stepping stone with Notts County being such a big club and stuff. So yeah, it was one of them where our hands were tied. Really, there was nothing we could do about it. And then we're just blessed that we've got such a good group who have showed great loyalty to the club this year. And we're looking forward to working with them again and having another successful season if possible.
And also as well, I think probably everyone would say this, is that very hard-working group that you've managed to keep a hold of, that must be something extra special because when you bring new boys in, because they've got to get up to their level and, you know, compete with them to get into the side.
Yeah, do you know what it is? It's absolutely perfect, to be honest with you. I spoke to Steve Watson yesterday, actually, and I was having this conversation with him. And I've mentioned it to the boys. It makes our job easier now when we bring new players in. The group does most of the talking for us, because if you have a player that comes in who doesn't work as hard as the group, he just stands out like a sore thumb. And it's one of them where if they're not working as hard or they're not up to standards, they can see it themselves, so that they bring themselves up. And we've got a group who they don't scream at people and demand certain things. They just do it in their actions. And I think that's the best way. And if anyone is sort of behind or not quite getting it, we've got a group of lads who want to help each other. They don't just want to call each other out and embarrass people, which is sometimes I've been in clubs where that is the case, where lads just can't wait to scream at players and show them up in front of everyone and deflect from themselves. But it's definitely not a group like that. As I say, they just want to help each other, and it's perfect for us as coaches to have new signings come in and just not us just talk about how hard we want them to work, but they actually come and train and they just see it straight away. So it's perfect.
Definitely. And before I let Mickey ask you a question, I've got one more. Obviously, pre-season, we talk about all being about minutes on the pitch and things like that. But there was videos on social media last week of you putting the boys right through the paces, and a few of them, you know, being sick after the after it. I say that the conditioning looks, I mean, they're all fit young lads, but when you look at them, you can see, I mean, even I'll mention one player by name, Carl Magny, looks a lot leaner this summer, and you know, the lads really have seemed to have looked after themselves during the summer.
Yeah, all the boys do. I think the game's advancing all the time, and I think boys now understand that if they don't keep themselves right over the summer, they come back, and it's hard to play catch up. And Mags, as you mentioned there, he's just been unbelievable since we brought him in. He's really added to the group. As you know, Carl, he became a leader within the group straight away. And it's the case with all the boys, really. I know some of the sessions have been really tough, but that's what the boys expect in pre-season. But most of it's been done with the ball and being done in games and match-specific stuff. And as long as the boys are putting 100% in, we're never just going to make them run for the sake of running. The running that we've done without the ball has just been to sort of top the miles up. But most of it's been done with the ball. And as I must say that the boys have come back just so professional, and I think they know we need to be this year as well, like we did last year, and we're going into a harder league, so we're not willing to sort of leave any stone unturned. We're well aware that we're underdogs in this league, and every week we'll probably be underdogs, and we're quite happy with that, and we'll continue just to stick with what we do and try and outwork everyone that we possibly can.
Yeah, definitely. And just before I let Mickey answer a question, we've got a little bit more eye candy for the ladies. Mark Crovers has joined us as well. Hello there, Mark.
I assume you mean someone else here, but yeah. No, how are you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us, Mark. Mickey, I'll let you get your questions in.
I was just first thing I want to say is, as a player, you must have hated pre-season. It must be fantastic to watch the lads running like dogs, and you all just stood there shouting and barking.
I'm probably the wrong one to ask for that, to be fair, because I used to love pre-season. I used to love running. Probably not the best footballer ever, but I was fit and I used to like running, so I was quite the opposite. So I'm actually, when I see them running, I think I wouldn't mind being a part of that. Having said that, I haven't joined in that, so I can't be that desperate to get involved back in the life.
Also, what's up with Dan Jarvis?
He's tweaked his thigh, so he done it he felt it in the warm up against Newcastle, and it was one of them where he didn't mention it. He just thought it was kind of just a warm up, and he wasn't sure what it was. And then literally, I think it was 30 seconds in, he's tore it. So Not ideal. He's working hard now. I don't think he's that far off being back involved training. I think maybe he's a couple of weeks, but Belly's got him going through his paces now. So obviously it's a tough one with the new signings coming in, and a couple of them has picked up injuries. It's not ideal, but we haven't just signed them for the first 2-3 months of the season. We've signed them, some of them on 2-year deals. So we've signed them for the bigger picture. And we've got a strong squad. So boys who are already at the club or other new signings are just working hard to pick up the slack of us having sort of less of a squad.
Yeah, and just on the back end of pre-season, myself and Mark, obviously, we covered the Harrogate game. I mean, we watched that game. We could see the team learning things throughout that game and adjusting to the opposition. Were you happy with what you got out of that game? Obviously, a defeat's a defeat, but the bigger picture, as you always look at in the process, were you happy with what you got out of the Harrogate game?
Yeah, I was really happy with it, to be honest. We were as a full coaching team. I thought we were the better side. I thought we played the better football. That might be on biased lens, but I've watched the game back twice and I still believe that. 2 mistakes kind of cost us goals. And I must say an exceptional Luke Armstrong was hard for us to deal with. Obviously working as hard as he does, being as big and as strong as he was. But in terms of how we play when we're in possession and what we want to do on the ball, there was definitely a lot for us to learn from in terms of how we can improve, and that was against a good Harrogate side, a league side. I thought we dominated the ball at times. We could have played forward a little bit more, but we kind of turned that down to keep the ball, which is fine as long as we're picking the right moments to go forward. And then out of possession, I thought we were strong as well. As I say, we ain't going to come against Luke Armstrong every week, and it was just literally 2 mistakes.
Yeah, Luke Armstrong. He was great for us, but you can see he's matured as a player. And
yeah, he was fantastic. I said that to him after. I said, Luke, I'd happily say that since I've been at Gateshead. I think I might be going into my 9th year or something now. Mm-hmm. He's the hardest working lad I've ever seen. He used to come in the stadium at about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. He'd have a bag full of his own stuff, his own like bands and stuff for the gym. He'd go in, he'd do all his activation work, his gym work. Then he'd have like a bowl of pasta in the change room at about 9:30. Then he's back in the gym. Then he's training. Then he would do running after training. Then he's back in the gym after that. He'd sometimes didn't leave till 4 or 5 o'clock, and that was every day. So he's now he's getting the rewards what he deserves.
Yeah, definitely. He was phenomenal in that game. We've got Mark here. If Mark's got any questions, I'll let him do that, and then we'll put some listener questions in as well.
I'm just listening to my kids arguing about who's getting the iPad. So
we've all been.
This is what's going on in my house at the minute. But no questions from me. I'll save them for during the season. But just looking forward to the season getting underway. Now I'm not the biggest fan of covering pre-season games, and it's normally a familiar pattern, isn't it? Loads of subs, managers trying to get everyone minutes in the games and stuff, and it's just nice to be looking forward to proper games coming back again. So the club's last games at this level that they're going into, and wasn't really sure whether or how long it would take to get back, but I think you've seen continuous progression and improvement, and I honestly think the squad now is stronger than the one that competed at this level the last time. I think it's a really strong squad across the board.
It certainly is. And on that note, we've got a message from Mick Scully. He's put, Ian, are you and Mike happy with the squad? Oh, sorry, it disappeared off my phone. Are you happy with the squad now? Are you still hoping to make additions?
No, we're happy with what we've got. There might be one other coming in. But we're happy with what we've brought in. As I say, the injuries are unfortunate, but we know we'll have them back. And as Mark touched on, we've got real strength in the squad. We've got boys who are playing in this league for the first time, so that's a little added incentive to them. And we're all just really excited, and we've worked really hard. So we're looking forward to Saturday, and we're happy with what we've got.
Yeah, we've got some more questions here. Just going through. 1 second. What are the injuries looking like with Langley and Blackett? Are they in contentions for the weekend?
Dan won't be, no. Dan went back to Newcastle, had a scan. Still a little bit unsure of exactly what he's done. So we're just waiting. He trained a little bit today, so we're hoping it's nothing too severe. And Blackie's fine. Blackie was just precaution last week. He's, as I said to Jack, after he's had an operation on his groins, and he just felt them stiffening up a little bit, and there was literally just no point in us prolonging that and risking him getting injured. So yeah, Blackie's absolutely fine. He's not missed any sessions, so he's probably the fittest he's been in the 3 years being at the club.
And
what time is that tomorrow?
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock training as we get halfway down there, and then to the hotel.
Oh, good preparation, good preparation. Taylor Howie has put, who's the player to look out for this season? I think Dan Ward is going to have a brilliant season. It's putting you on the spot there, but that's for everybody. But I think I'd like to see. I think we'll see more from Dan. I think he definitely grew in confidence last season.
Yeah, well, with Wardy, we just had a conversation today actually. When he first came into the club, he didn't probably show his best form. And then since then, he improves every single day. He's a big player for us. So I wouldn't really single anyone out. You know, we've got so many. As I said, there's boys who haven't played in the league before, so it's going to be really interesting to see how they get on. There's lads just being released by academies who we've now got. We've got a couple of lads who've played in the league and who have done well in the league. So I just think as a whole, it's going to be a really interesting journey and an enjoyable one. And I mean that in terms of enjoying the lows as well, because there's going to be weeks where things aren't going our way and people are unhappy, but it is what it is. You know, we'll everyone knows that we're going to do our very best every single day when we come into train. As long as we do that, we know that you guys will have our backs and we'll give you everything we've got as well.
We've got some more messages. Denise Little has put, good luck, lads, for Saturday. Scott Ryan has put, hi, Ian. Different dynamic this season with some long away trips. What are the challenges for the team with a long away trip to opposed to travelling to shorter distances for games?
It's just the overnight stays. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more overnight stays in this league. Fortunately, we don't have a squad that's got a lot of families. You know, I think Tinks has got kids. Aaron Martin's got a couple of kids. Other than that, I don't know if any of the boys have got any children, and that's the difficult thing when you go away. You know, missing the family and being away from your family. So, we're all professional and we understand that it needs to be done. And the best prep is that we get there the night before and we give the lads that time to recover from the journey and have a good night's sleep, and then get up on a Saturday and don't have to worry about a journey. So the club have really pushed the boat out in the back on us to do things right, and we really appreciate that, and we believe that we'll repay that faith shown in us by the club.
Definitely. We've got another one from Mick Scully. Is Elliot Forbes ready to play games now? If we can keep him fit, he'll be a great addition to the team. I think everyone would second that. But is Forbes looking stronger this year, because he's had an unfortunate run, hasn't he, with injuries?
Yeah, he is. It's tough on him. He's picked up bad injuries at bad times when he's just been getting back into it. Then he's picked up another one, and there's nothing more that he could have done or anyone could have done because he works so hard. He's doing a lot of his own work in the gym and stuff. So he's in a good place now, and he's been in a good place for the last sort of 3-4 weeks, which is really positive. And I know it doesn't sound much saying 3 or 4 weeks, and he's played a couple of minutes, but I think his last sort of proper game was Boston in the playoffs. So when you look at it like that, getting 3 weeks of constant training and playing games is such a massive positive for Forbes, and it's a positive for us all because we love him, because he's came through the system. He's a local lad. He's an unbelievable lad, and we all want him to do well. So to have him back and training is a lift for everyone as well as himself.
Yeah, we've got one from Kitman Extraordinaire, Dave Allen. But the lads are looking great, confident we'll do well again this year. We've got one from Cow Daily. I'd be more than happy with staying up this season. Anything more than that is a bonus. Would like to see the management team stay for the long term and take us onto league status. I'm sure that'll happen, won't it?
That's the plan. That's the plan. That's why we work as hard as we do every day to try and get Gateshead as high as we possibly can, and then if we can all go up together, then that would be absolutely perfect, because we generally do love the club and we want to want to take it as far as it can possibly go.
Well,
What's
Ian,
it like?
sorry,
Management looking at Wrexham signings.
Do you know what it is? I don't even look, to be honest, too much. Like I see it and I have a quick look and I think, wow, like obviously signing, but I don't really overthink it too much. Just concentrate on ourselves. And if anything, it excites us a little bit that we're going to get to play against these sort of League One. Some of them should be playing Championship and things. So yeah, like I'm looking forward to every game, but them Wrexham games and things like that, they've just got that little bit extra spice, haven't they? Because you want to be up against the best and see how well you do.
It feels a bit like a cup game, doesn't it? Like the build up to it, you think, well, Hollywood's coming to town without, playing on puns. It is going to be something special. And of course, Notts County, I know we played them in the cup and stuff a few years ago, but obviously playing against them and then the added incentive of former players, it's just a melting pot this season, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And do you know what it is? It's this is the rewards now. So obviously we had that day where we got promoted and stuff, but the big rewards are the days that we're going to have this season and the big games, as you've said there. There's so many big games, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the stadium sort of busy again and having big away crowds coming in and creating a real atmosphere. And I think it's just good for the Northeast as well, that now that Gateshead's back in the conference, I think it just helps everyone, to be honest.
It certainly does. Mickey, have you got any more questions?
Have you tucked Mike Williamson in bed? Because I know Mike was saying the last time he's normally in bed by now, so I'm assuming you've tucked him up and come to do the interview.
I think he goes to bed about 8 o'clock. So if I have any issues after 8, I know that they ain't getting resolved until the next day when he gets up about 5. Like sometimes I have texts on my phone at 4:45 in the morning. So yeah, he's an early riser as well.
Oh, I'm glad he doesn't have my number.
That could be arranged.
Promises. Ian, always a pleasure. Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate you giving us the time. And
thank you for having us.
I'd say good luck for the rest of the season.
Good luck on Saturday.
Definitely.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good luck to you as well. It's all in it together, so it's good luck for everyone.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
7 I'm on the train.
Class. Happy days.
It went off.
Happy days indeed, mate.
Well, thank you, Ian. And
right, cheers.
Thank you.
Take care, lads. Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you. There we go. Ian Watson. Fantastic to talk to him. 1 second. I'm just going to stand up and put my light on because I didn't plug it in. 1 second. I'll let you talk amongst yourselves. It's so
I like it, Dave. You should leave it. It's like a disco vibe, mate. Looks good. It looks like a disco at a local station. Oh, here it is.
There we go. I'm back. No need to panic, everybody. Mark, we've had a message about your tan. Niall, lovely that he's tuned in. Niall Bromley obviously does the commentary for Blythe, and
it's a lightning here. I've definitely got a tan.
No, you've got a tan. You look gorgeous, honestly. So there we go. I think that might be a Portuguese tan. I think, is that right?
It is. It certainly is. Yeah, I got back from Albufeira yesterday. Straight into a double shift at work today. So literally finished at 9 o'clock, and then straight to speak to you two. So been a busy one.
Well, you need something to put you to sleep, so you may as well start those.
He said that.
Yeah, and just before you joined us, we were talking obviously to Ian Watson, but we mentioned before that a new signing was made last week with Will Harris come in, made a goal scoring start in a friendly against Middlesbrough. You can't ask for much more. Do you know much about him apart from, other than that he was at Sunderland?
Yeah, obviously Will came through the sort of youth system, the junior ranks at Hebburn Town. Was one of the players they celebrated as progressing into the pro game. Had a good reputation at Sunderland. You probably saw a little bit of what he's about in the highlights from that friendly game. He will put himself about up front. He's got a bit of pace about him. He's a good finisher. I think from what I've seen, he's genuinely 2-footed as well. So, from what we saw a couple of years ago, where maybe there was one striker, two strikers in the squad, all of a sudden there are some serious options at the top end of the pitch. And I know obviously there's a situation with Lewis Knight now, but there's a multitude of options for Mike and Busted to select from, and that can only be healthy, because if someone hits form, or someone can't find form, I should say, there's someone there to step in and have a go. So, but it also allows them to mix and match during the season. And I'm going through all the sort of phrases here, but it's
It's like a number of permutations with the type of strikers we've got.
Yeah,
so, if
they'll
they
always
are,
be nervous. It just depends who's going to be, in, as you say, in form and be able to get on the end of them balls.
yeah, and the thing is as well, if depending on who you're playing, if you're playing against a more physical side, you can select your strikers accordingly. If you want to go with pace and that sort of nimble attacking threat, you've got other options in the squad. I just think the transfer business this summer, I genuinely don't think it's been spoken about enough how good it's been. I think that Mike and Busted have worked so hard, and maybe and I'm not criticising anyone here, but I think to an extent maybe the departures of Kedwin Scott and Macaulay Langstaff have maybe overshadowed things when they shouldn't have done. And that's not. I'm not saying that to play down what they achieved. Yeah, and to belittle what they achieved at the club, because what they did last season was beyond belief. But I just think what's followed in terms of incomings, right the way from Dan Langley through to Will Harris, I think the squad, and I'll say it again, I think it's stronger than the last time in terms of in depth and in quality. I think it's possibly better than what started the last National League season. So full credit to Mike, to Busted, Louis Story, because he plays a big part as well, and fair play to the directors for backing the management team, because I just think there's so many options, and when Lewis Knight comes back to fitness and Jarvis comes back to fitness, I think there's a real strength and depth there.
Certainly as well. We're going to be joined by Joel, the Dag and Red Bridge fan. Can you hear us all right? If you can give us a thumbs up on your end. There we go. So we'll bring him in. You can hear us. So there we go. Hello, Joel. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. As I say, you must be as excited as us for the start of the season on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. It's getting to that stage now where you can almost feel the hours ticking down, and Saturday afternoon is fastly appearing in our peripheral vision. I can't wait.
Yeah, and just as I said, just as before we brought you on, obviously Gates had a lot of comings and goings in the squad. Has there been much transfer activity for Dagenham in the summer?
No, none at all. Really, compared to the previous large-scale rebuilds we used to have, we've had 3 signings, which is the lowest in the division. We had 3 last summer as well, so the emphasis has really been on keeping that core together.
And sorry if I haven't done my homework. Where did you finish last year in the National League?
We finished 8th, 1 point outside the playoffs. The last game of the season, we beat Wrexham 3-0 at home, and we're relying on Woking to win at Chesterfield, but that goal just didn't come, so we just missed out.
Oh, it's a bit of a gutter. But so obviously Dagenham are looking to build on what they've done over the last few years. They're very happy with the core of players. What is the Dagenham Bridge side that we're going to come up against? Is it attacking? Is it solid? Is there a flair side there, or is it just going to be a hard working side?
Very attacking, sometimes to our own detriment. We play a 5-3-2. Usually both wing backs are quite attacking minded players. In fact, it often has the make of 2 wingers being forced to play wing backs instead of 2 kind of natural suits for that position. We have goals pretty much everywhere throughout the team, but our strike force is amongst the best in the division. The problem is we're just as leaky and open at the other end. So we had a lot of games last season where we'd win 4-2, where we'd win 5-1. It got a bit silly throughout the first 2 weeks of the season. And then our problem was that once the goals stopped arriving for us, as happens, you have them lean spells. Unfortunately, we couldn't plug them at the other end, and that's when you start losing 1-0 a lot of weeks. And that was our problem.
Mm-hmm. I think it's
can you do that on Saturday, please?
It sounds like it's got the makings of a good game, because Gates would like to attack and have a bit of possession and try and build and catch on the break. So it looks like the game's going to have it all on Saturday. We've got a message here for you, actually, Joel, from one of our viewers. Once I put it up on the screen, can I ask Joel, what do you think has been the best signing you've made this summer?
That would be Omar Musa from Weymouth. He's a 21-year-old midfielder, but if you look at him, his physique, his build, and his maturity on the ball far belies that. And it looks like he could have been playing in the division for a decade if you watch him. Our fans are very excited about that, and he's actually had some of the best statistics for a midfielder in terms of interceptions, in terms of progressive passes, that sort of thing, in the entire division. He's only 21, so we're very excited about the prospect of him linking up with what is already two good midfielders.
Yeah, that's good. It's exciting that it's just young players coming into the league, and especially exciting news. It's always nice, isn't it? Oh, I pressed the button again there by mistake. We've got a message from Ken Webster. He's put, "Wow, this is going to be some game. Watch it be a 0-0 draw after we've said this."
Given the big build up, and it's kind of gone.
Yeah. No, no matter what the result, it's good to have the football back. And Joel, obviously there'll be a lot of fans that aren't able to travel down. Is there commentary available via local radio or via the club themselves?
Yeah, there is a site called Mixler, which is like an automated live radio tune-in. And we have a couple of commentators who are really good, actually, called Mick Payne and James Glass, and they do really good coverage that's quite widely recognised as one of the best in the league. So, yeah, Gateshead fans who can't make the journey are well covered on that front.
Oh, that's
and you
great.
Put the link up. Get them to put the link up on the morning so our fans can see it.
I'm sure. If I'll put it up on there. But have you got any questions for us from a Dag and Red Bridge point of view?
So one thing I'm interested in is obviously where the goals are coming from. Now you've lost Scott and Langstaff. I think that's been the question on a lot of fans' lips looking at Gateshead. And are you as strong as the team who went up? And also, if you had the team you have now, would that win the National League North, do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it would.
What we've got, we lost Kedwin and we lost Macca. Big holes to fill. But we've got the people that provided the bullets for them.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Strikers.
The
strikers who've got goals in the side anyway. I mean,
much like what you said before, we've got the attacking wing backs in Robbie Tinker, who puts a lot of balls into the box. You've got Greg Ollie, who will pick out a pass in any of the channels. Then you've got the players picking up the pieces in midfield, whether it be Dan Ward, Greg Ollie, or whoever else is in midfield as well. They're always making forward runs. But on the plus side of that, they all get themselves back as well and defend as a unit. So it's a nice fluid motion throughout our team. A little bit similar to what you were saying before. The defense was all right last year. I would say, probably the management would say they would like to have let in less. I think every management team would say that. But I think just from what you said, building up, I think this is going to lead up to a good game, a good challenge. But on the striker front, we've brought in two that were in the Football League last year. In Aaron Martin and Harris was playing for Barrow in the Football League on loan from Sunderland. So if you look at that and what we've seen in pre-season, I think we've, like for like, maybe a little bit of an improvement. We've got a different dynamic with Aaron up front now, with Aaron Martin. He seems to have a bit more hustle and bustle about him physically compared to what that's maybe being a little bit down on Kedwin Scott, because he was quite firm with his upper body strength holding people off the ball. But I think it's looking a little bit better. I think more options this year, definitely.
That certainly bodes well for your lot for Saturday then.
Yeah, I think you know what it is. I think I've seen a few predictions this year, the leagues, and a lot of them have put us relegation zone or scrap, and we might well be, but I think we might shock a few teams this season with the way we work off the ball.
Well, apart from Kings Lynn, I can't remember many teams who've come up from the north who've been pushovers whatsoever. So usually the teams who come up, especially from the northern region, tend to fare well. They tend to acclimatise easier than their southern counterparts as well.
Yeah, we've got one of them classic messages. This one from Colin Scott, who is Kedwin Scott's dad. Fantastic. How much is it an advantage having two teams, Dagenham and Redbridge?
Yeah, we get that a lot. If you look back at our history, it's an amalgamation of about 8 different clubs that's gradually formed our current incarnation. So it's a complicated one for sure.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember the original Dagenham, just Dagenham.
Yeah. I'm definitely not.
Cheers, mate. What I will say to Joel, I was listening to the non-league podcast, and you were the only one who didn't put in the bottom 4.
Yeah, that's right. I've never really thought Gateshead would struggle that much. I put them. We sent a listing. I think I had Gateshead around 17th, 18th, which I'm sure you would probably take.
Yeah, anywhere between 15th and 14th and 18th, I said Gateshead will finish.
All about consolidating that first year.
I did 442's National League preview, and I had Gateshead at 16. Yeah. And I know Downham have obviously improved every year over the last 4 years. I think I had them 7th in the table. So just sneaking in that playoff group. So I think it's both sides will go into the season hoping to continue what they built on last year. I think I really do fancy Dagenham to get in the playoffs this year, and I just can't see Gateshead getting sucked into a relegation battle. I think there are better sides. Actually, if I'm honest, I think all the clubs that come up will add to the league and make it even stronger in depth. I think you might see some stalwart clubs going down this year that have been in the league for a long time, but I just don't see Gateshead being part of that group in that relegation zone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You had a lot of resilience last year as well, and from what I gathered, a lot of ferocious spirit, and sometimes that makes up for a lack of quality. Not that there is a lack of quality, but sometimes that's worth an extra 5-10%, and over the course of a season, that translates into nicking 1-0s, which would have been 0-0, nicking 2-1s, which would have been 1-1, stuff like that. So I'm sure you'll be okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you were watching before you came on. We were speaking to the assistant manager, Ian Watson, and we're talking about, obviously, this year there's some big teams to play against. Of course, Wrexham, they were already a big club. They're in the stratosphere now, as it were, in media, in non-league terms. What was it like playing them last year? Of course, I know you got a good win over them at the end of the season there, but what was it like playing with that circus around the games, or is there not much of a circus? Are we reading too much into it?
Yeah, I think it's overstated when you play them. There's not like a massive camera crew in there, and the players don't get personal bodyguards brought into the ground. It's very low key still. But
yeah,
one thing you do notice is the crowds at Wrexham. Like, they've risen up to nearly 10,000 now, and I've been to Wrexham 4 or 5 times where they've only had about 3,500, and the ground's been mostly empty. So it's really captured the imagination of North Wales, as you can imagine. They should romp the league, shouldn't they, at a canter? But the National League doesn't work like that.
No, they're going to have to fight off.
County fans will differ. Notts County think they're going to beat Wrexham this year. It'll be a tussle and a half. Yeah,
and Chesterfield will certainly have something to say about that too. So it's never a foregone conclusion at this level, is it, to be honest?
Well, first 7 games, we've got them 3 to play.
Yeah, it's a
tough introduction. That
I know. I feel for all them clubs when we're sitting top of the league.
Your confidence. The major question, Joel: where's the nearest chippy to the ground?
Oh, well, where is the nearest chippy? Actually, there was one a couple of years ago that I used to go in every home game, but that turned into a Turkish kebab shop. So I can't think of one on the top of my head that's nearby anymore. There's a Chinese opposite the road, if that takes your fancy, but that's only open after 4:30. So no, I don't think you'll be covered.
Just for some bait before we get going back on the train.
You started on a high, Joel, and you've left us disappointed.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, we're impressed with him, and then he's just know his local takeaway. It's just not on.
Came
bring you down.
Yeah, came on a lovely young lad and then just didn't know where the chippy was. Joel, thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. We hope we can get you on in the reverse fixture later on in the season and to see how both clubs are doing. I think it'd be fantastic to catch up with you. I'd just say good luck for the rest of the season. Not on Saturday, of course, but at the rest of it, I hope you have a fantastic season and progress into them playoffs.
Before you go, are you doing all of them again?
I'll try my best. I don't know. We've got some difficult ones, but I've already booked up Wrexham on a Tuesday night, Chesterfield on a Tuesday night. So I'll give it a good crack. But no, wishing you lot the best of luck, obviously minus Saturday. And hopefully you have a good first year back.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Sure.
For the season, mate.
Hopefully I might see you. I'll probably be waving at you.
Yeah, I'll look out. There won't be too many of us there, so I'm sure we'll be able to spot you.
You'll see him. Cheers.
I'll be on. If we're winning, I'll be on the pitch naked.
I'll be burying my head in the sand, so I won't be looking.
I don't want to win. But thank you, Joel. Bye.
Cheers, Rep.
Take care, bud.
Well, lovely to have him on there. Got a message that come on earlier on. I was going to reach out to him today, but obviously we've had a loaded show. We've got Terry Sweeney, great pod, first time tuning in as I'm back in the northeast from a visit from Australia, Adelaide. Oh, he lives in the exotic places. Had a wonderful visit to GFC this week and got to watch the lads train. Excellent to see the buzz around the hometown club. And my 8-year-old is now a major Heed fan. We have seen some pictures online, which is fantastic. And Dave Allen asked us to mention them. And hopefully, if you're still, well, even if you're back home next week, we'll get you on and talk about following the Heed from afar. That would be absolutely fantastic. And see, I can't believe we're 45 minutes in. We're flying through this show. It's not been it's been absolutely full. It's just flew by. Just before we go any further with the chat, please keep sending your messages. Do subscribe as well if you are new like Terry. Subscribe to us on YouTube and on the Facebook page, and we'll hopefully grow and push it further forward. That's what we want to do. That's what it's all about. We want more people talking. It's great that we've got Terry joining us for the first time. He'll still be here next week, so hopefully we'll be able to get him on. That'll be great. And that's what it's all about, reaching out and finding Gateshead fans that don't know about the show, or even new fans that just watch from afar and think they want to get involved. And hopefully this is the place that can come along and find out what's going on and see us talking to other fans and building bridges, because that's what it's all about. It's been nice to speak to Joel and keep it going like that. And well, Mark, you had a nice holiday away. As I say, did you switch off from football, or were you still having a cheeky look at Twitter?
No, I did. I'm very fortunate to have a very supportive family that allow me to, dedicate most of my life to work throughout the season. But the last sort of 3-4 years have been a really non-stop season because of COVID and such like. So I sort of made a promise to them that when I was away, it would be purely about having family time and not looking at Twitter. I think I've tweeted a few times, to be fair, but not spending each and every day and each and every hour of each and every day on Twitter or social media in some form. So I did manage to switch off, and it was needed because, being honest, I've spoken about my mental health quite a bit, and towards the end of last season, I think I was suffering quite a bit mentally and physically. Felt drained covering as many games as I was covering, and I do obviously cover everything from Gateshead down to the Northern League, as well as doing bits of Newcastle as well. So it was really sort of tiring the end of last season. So it was nice to have a week away from everything, to be refreshed and kind of reinvigorated ahead of the new season, and just so excited to be covering Gateshead this season. I don't think I've hidden away from the fact that the club's got a bit of a special place for me, and I think to see them back stronger at a level where they should have never left, let's be honest, is just so exciting. And I'm gutted I'm missing the Bonnet game. I'm going to cover North Shield's first game as a Northern Premier League club that day, but I'll be at Notts County, sat alongside some weird bloke in the commentary area.
It's with Paul Dixon like that. If BBC Newcastle's there.
I said two weird blokes, shouldn't I? But like me and Dick are meeting tomorrow morning for a catch up, and I've got no doubt that Gateshead will be top of the agenda in terms of looking at what's ahead. What I would say, and I know it's easy to do, and we all do it, but I don't think we should put Wrexham and Notts County and all these clubs on a pedestal, because Gateshead have earned the right to compete alongside these clubs. Yes, it's great to go out and spend God knows what on players' wages, but Gateshead are on a level with these clubs, and I had Oldham in that as well.
The last time we were at this level, the first home game was against Salford. They were that team at the time with the documentary and things like that, and we blew them away on the night. It was, there was a load of memes to Gary Neville, wasn't there, about him looking at his phone and saying Gateshead scoring 2-1. It was great. It just showed you, though, that you can have that hype, but you've got to do it on the pitch. I'm sure they're a very professional outfit. They will be good, but we've got to go out there and play our game. And if we do, we'll be competitive against anybody. We showed that in the FA Cup.
Look, what I would say is that I think it's a pretty obvious thing to say that Gateshead aren't going to win as many games as they won last season because of the level they're at.
Yeah.
what that means is, and I know in the dressing room, and I know the management team, the coaching team, and people working in the club will stick together 100%. They'll get through this together, and they'll really be the unit that has taken the club this far. But the supporters got a huge part to play in this.
Yeah, we spoke about it last week, saying that there has to be patience, that we've got to be behind this side and understand the level that we're at, and that, you know, just if we might lose a game 3 or 4-0, it's not the end of the world. We come back, rebuild the process. That's where it is.
I'm not trying to say anyone should accept defeat, because that's not the nature of the sport. But I'm starting to sound like a manager now, but what it is the case of that the highs can't be too high and the lows can't be too low. That's the simple fact. You know, they will lose games. There'll be difficult times. There may be runs where points aren't picked up, but by the same token,
lovely message. Nice to see Mark happy and healthy. Really appreciate your coverage, your work and mental health. Quality Algarve tan, that.
Appreciate that. Good job someone noticed. But I think looking at it, you know, the one thing that I've found with this new Gateshead, if you want to call them that, from what emerged from what happened 3-4 years ago, it's the strength in numbers, it's the togetherness of everyone at the club that absolutely must remain. And I'm not saying that people can't be upset when things happen or anything like that, when results don't go their way.
Yeah, no one's above criticism.
No. There's a bigger picture. There's a bigger.
Sorry, I think as long as people do it in a constructive way, then fair enough. But you know, there'll be no need. Not that I'm saying people are going to, but there's no need to get personal about things. Is what I'm saying. It's a long season, and I'm 100% certain. There's no doubt in my mind that if everyone sticks together, the club can have a very, very good season on a number of fronts.
Definitely. Just before we go any further, there's a couple of things I want to mention. Dave Allen just sent us a message saying that you had an alcoholic ginger beer after the Salford game. So I don't know how many of them you had, Mickey. But also as well, I don't know if the tickets are still available. If Dave Allen can let us know about the Macaulay Langstaff prize there from the raffle from the Gated Soul. It says on here that the tickets end on the 4th. So I don't know if that's midnight tonight. Let us know. Still time to win the Macaulay Langstaff boot, scarf, and program. So that's fantastic. But hopefully get some confirmation from Dave on that. And also on the Gated Soul front, they now have 147 current adult members that is contributing to the club every month. And as you can see there on this, can help reach the target of 250 members by 2023. Everyone working together for to work towards a full fan ownership of the club. And if they get to that is a massive contribution into the club every month, whether you're putting in £10 or more. If you can afford to do that, I think it's absolutely fantastic. So well done everyone at the Soul. And if Dave Allen could let us know if the tickets are still available, if you still fancy a chance to win the Macaulay Langstaff signed boots and other memorabilia, and of course all the money goes to the Soul. We've got one here from Mick Scully. Great to see the creation of the Gated FC Business Club. Did notice that on social media. It's important we as fans show support to those businesses who are sponsoring the club and helping the club. We can only develop with this help, without a doubt on that. We want to try and reach out to a couple of the businesses as well and get someone on to talk about their relationship and how they're finding it being sponsors with the club. As I say, we're reaching out on all fronts. We want to push the club everywhere, and I think sponsors are just as important as the players and as anybody. So we'll push it on that. So well done everyone involved on that. There we go. So we've only got 5 minutes left. So if you want to get their messages in, please do send them. Mark, I know you went with the 16th place prediction. I think it's a fair prediction. Mickey, what's yours for? Where would you, if you got a nailed in?
All the way through pre-season, I've said anywhere between 14th and 18th.
Yeah, I think 14th. I'd be happy with that, and see the club build on the foundations of what they've done with that. We've got another message here from Boyle Sports.
We'll shock a few, like Mark said. I think we will shock a few.
I think we'll hold our own. I think we're not going to be cannon fodder in that league by any means. What do you think of the kits? I got the home one, hasn't come yet. Ordered on Sunday. My favourite is the home one. Yeah, beautiful. I mean, I've got mine here actually, so it's beautiful in the flesh. I know there was a few eyebrows raised about the slight color change to grey, but it's very, very looks great on me. The raffle is closed, everybody. So Mark Walton will be doing the draw in the hotel tomorrow, so I'd imagine that'll be put on social media. So 1 second, we've got Mr. Luke. Where's he been? He's put, whoops, forgot the Heed Army podcast is on. Shocking. I can't believe that. Andy won the prize the last time, but we'll watch on the replay and thought that
He got his prize yet though.
Oh yeah, he's got his prize. He's got it.
Oh,
Thought it was a good performance against Middlesbrough. Cannot wait for the Dagenham and the start of the season. Yeah, and I mean, obviously for us, for people that aren't going down, the start for everyone kind of is the home game against Barnet, which is another big game, big club at this level to play. And so we'll be looking forward to that one. Ken Webster's put, I'd be happy with a mid-table finish. Someone's put Ginger Joe has put, Dixon's still doing the bait next season. I hope so. Them pies are fantastic. So my away kit came the next day. Fantastic. Thanks, Dave. I got the 3XL. Yeah, we're giving out on the prizes, on the sizes last week. They're not very kind, not very forgiving to the to the muscular male. Yeah,
those built for comfort, not speed.
Yeah, if you get an XL, do go for a double XL.
I don't mind admitting I was a bit unsure on the kits when I first saw them on images and stuff, but when I've seen them in person, I think they're all right. I like them, mate.
I do like them. I just wish the home was black and white. I really do. Well, but I do genuinely like both kits.
Yeah.
My son was over the moon with his, so
we've seen him. We've seen him.
Yeah, I've seen he's rocking it in Albufeira.
Yeah. We've got Ginger Joe's put mid-table. FA Cup third round and trophy semis. He's just trying to hear me squeal on the microphone, I think, because I would be in some of them games. We've got Dave.
Why just the semi-finals of the trophy?
I know. We want to get to the final. Dave Allen, he thinks we'll finish around about 12th. There was this news today as well. Just want to congratulate Martial on his new deal at Villa. Just shows you his loan spell, what he did. Yeah, Gateshead is full deserving of that. And also as well done to Jacob Chapman. He's the actual number 13 shirt for Huddersfield this season. And he was on the bench in the curtain opener for the AFL last weekend on the Friday night game. So hopefully, he gets to have a go in the first team there. But he's on the bench, number 13 shirt. The old-fashioned me says at least that's him in contention on shirt numbers. Boiler Sports put my team for Saturday is Monty, Tinkler, Richardson, Story, Pye, Ollie, Ward, Bailey, Campbell, Martin, and Allen. And subs will be Forbes, Magnay, Panny, and Harrison Blackett. Well, we can't actually have 7 subs this year in the National League, I believe.
Are we allowed to use 5, or are we just still on 3? Any idea, Mark?
Still on 3, but there is 7 available slots. Whether or not we do that or not is, I don't know. The club of our level and the squad, if everyone's fit, I would imagine they'll be able to fill that, but they'll not be. I don't know if we'll be filling it every week. I will take between 14th and 17th for my prediction, says Mr. Luke. What is happening with Hassan?
By the way, guys, can I just nip in, because I only heard the commentary. Did he look half decent, or Ethan Pye?
Yeah, I thought he looked all right in the first half. Bearing in mind he had just arrived the day before and thrown into the mix, but he looked like he was capable.
Yeah, I think speaking to a few Spennymoor fans, were really impressed with him last season, and was a real high point of, I think, what they would consider a bit of an underwhelming season in the end. But he looked good in spells. He got caught out a couple of times defensively, but I think we should put that down to a few things that just been introduced into the side, had barely trained, hadn't really worked on those, connections with players around him. But I think he's someone that will only get better as the season goes on. And I did an interview with him that went out in the week after that game, and he was talking about how he wants to prove himself at this level, and go back to Stockport to challenge for a place in their side. And I think when you've got a young player with a motivation like that, like you've seen with Marshall, like you've seen with Jacob Chapman, and we could name probably 10 other players over the last sort of 3-4 years that have gone back to parent clubs and made an impact. I think, again, going back to recruitment, and sorry, go back to what I said about half an hour ago, but Gateshead have signed a lot of players that have got points to prove this year.
Yeah.
And I think that can be what will fire them to a really good season.
Yeah, we got a message from David Tron. What's happened with Hassani? Of course, he's been on trial. I'm going to put 2 and 2 together. They said there might be one coming in. Who knows? He's been the one that's still been in the trial games right towards the end. So whether or not Hassani comes into the squad or not, we'll see. But he's definitely looked decent in pre-season. Boiler Sports, Luke Williams now plays for an Icelandic side. I'm not going to try and massacre that.
That's clearly been copy and pasted, by the way.
It has, hasn't it? He didn't know that off the back of his
young Boiler's a clever lad.
He must be, because I wonder if he can pronounce it, because I can't. So I'll be heading off to North Shields in the FA Cup when Gateshead are playing. So yeah, they'll have a qualifying game before us, won't they? Oops, just kick the camera. Oh.
Just leave it there, Dave. Just leave it there. It's fine.
We'll leave it there.
Much better for us, isn't it, Mark?
Keep going. Dave, keep pushing it.
It's like I'm on the Titanic.
So the window.
Yeah. Well, there we go. So we'll leave it there. We've reached to 10 o'clock. A massive thank you to everyone. We've had good viewers here, and I'm down here. On that note, Mark, thank you very much for joining us. It's always a pleasure. I can't wait to cover the game with you against Notts County and many other games this season. Mickey, always a pleasure. Thank you very much. And thank you to our guests, Joel, the Dagenham fan, and assistant manager Ian Watson. If you missed it, if you just joined us now, go back and watch it live. And remember, like, subscribe, and we will see you next time. So thank you very much, and we will see you next time. Bye. I've done it again. We're still on. Bye.